Welcome to my channel USA Old Coins. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end, you won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. In the world of coin collecting, certain pieces seem ordinary at first glance, but upon closer inspection, they carry a history and value that can leave you stunned. The United States Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1963 is one such coin. Born in a year filled with cultural shifts, political changes, and historical moments, this penny has witnessed decades of American life while holding its own remarkable story. The 1963 Lincoln penny belongs to the Memorial Reverse series, which had already become an icon in American coinage. The obverse, bearing the dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln, continued a tradition that began in 1909, when the Lincoln cent was first introduced to honor the president's 100th birthday. In 1963, the U.S. Mint produced these pennies in two locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Philadelphia struck coins without a mint mark, while Denver coins bore a small D on the obverse just below the date. Both versions were produced in massive numbers, but only a few rare specimens stand out today as treasures worth serious money. At first, you might think a 1963 penny couldn't possibly be valuable, given its age is not as ancient as some other collectible coins. But value in numismatics is not only determined by age, it's shaped by rarity, condition, errors, and demand. The metal composition of this coin also tells a story. In 1963, the Lincoln cent was still being made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving it a rich, warm color and a satisfying weight that modern zinc-based pennies lack. For collectors, this copper composition adds both nostalgia and desirability. Many of these coins have endured decades of circulation, picking up scratches, discoloration, and wear from countless transactions. That's why finding a pristine, uncirculated example is such a challenge, and such a joy for collectors. Now, one of the things that makes the 1963 penny exciting is the possibility of mint errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, and improperly prepared planchets have all been found in pennies from this year. Some of these errors can multiply the value of a coin dramatically. Imagine spotting a 1963 penny in your change with crisp, mirror-like fields and razor-sharp details, untouched by time. Such a coin could be a proof specimen, struck with special care for collectors. Proofs from 1963 are particularly appealing when they have deep cameo contrast between the frosted design and the glossy background. But what really sends the value skyrocketing is when a 1963 Lincoln penny achieves a perfect grade from professional coin grading services. A grade of MS-67 or higher can push it into the realm of elite collectibles, especially if it has eye-popping luster and no visible marks under magnification. Collectors are also drawn to the historical context of this coin. In 1963, America was on the brink of enormous change. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy that November shocked the world. Civil rights movements gained momentum, and popular culture was shifting rapidly. Coins from this year carry a quiet connection to those transformative times. For some collectors, holding a 1963 penny is like holding a tiny time capsule, a reminder of an era before decimal inflation eroded the buying power of the cent. Back then, a single penny could still buy something small, and a handful of them could get you a treat at the corner store. Over the years, most 1963 pennies have vanished into circulation been lost, or even melted down for their copper content. That's why when a flawless example surfaces, the competition to acquire it can be fierce. Auction houses have reported intense bidding wars over high-grade 1963 Lincoln cents. It's not just the coin's scarcity in top condition, it's also the pride of owning something that almost no one else has. The design itself adds to the appeal. Victor David Brenner's portrait of Lincoln on the obverse is timeless, with fine details in the hair and beard that really pop on a well-preserved coin. The reverse, showing the Lincoln Memorial, includes a tiny statue of Lincoln inside, an intricate detail that many casual observers miss. For advanced collectors, there's also the thrill of variety hunting. Small differences in dye preparation, minting pressure, and even metal flow can create unique specimens that become prized finds. The copper of a 1963 penny can develop rich tones over time. Some acquire a beautiful reddish gold hue, while others display shades of blue, purple, and green, known as toning. When natural and attractive, this toning can add significant premium to the coin's price. Many people don't realize that even pennies from the 1960s are becoming harder to find in circulation. The sheer volume of coins pulled out by collectors and copper hoarders has reduced their presence in everyday transactions. This means the window to discover one in the wild is closing fast. And if you do, the odds are it won't be in top condition, making those high-grade survivors even more special. In the collector's market, provenance can also matter. A coin that once belonged to a famous numismatist or came from a well-known hoard can attract extra attention and higher bids. The 1963 Lincoln Cents value is also supported by its place in the long-running Lincoln Cent series, the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. This consistency has built a loyal collector base who seek every year in mint-mark combination. Demand for copper Lincoln Cents has grown steadily, particularly as younger collectors discover their beauty and affordability at entry levels, then graduate to chasing the rare, high-value examples. It's not just American collectors either. Lincoln Cents are popular internationally, as symbols of the United States and its history. Coins like the 1963 penny often end up in collections overseas. As time goes on, the survival rate for top-grade 1963 pennies will only shrink. Mishandling, environmental damage, and improper storage continue to whittle away at the remaining population. Why coin grading and proper preservation are so important. A penny that might have been worth a few dollars decades ago can now command an astonishing sum if perfectly preserved. Every time a record-setting sale happens, it sparks a wave of renewed interest. People start digging through their change jars, old piggy banks, and inherited coin collections, hoping to find a hidden gem. The stories of lucky finds. Someone spotting an uncirculated 1963 penny in a forgotten envelope or tucked into an old book. Keep the excitement alive in the hobby. For serious collectors, adding a high-grade 1963 Lincoln Cent to their collection is a milestone. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of history, artistry, and rarity wrapped into a small copper disc, and when that coin is one of the finest known examples, its market value can reach truly jaw-dropping levels, shocking even seasoned numismatists. So, the next time you come across a 1963 Lincoln penny, take a close look. You might just be holding something worth far more than a single cent. Because a pristine, rare 1963 Lincoln 1-cent penny has been known to sell for an incredible $147,000. Top 2. In the fascinating world of coin collecting, not every treasure gleams in gold or sparkles in silver. Sometimes, it's the humble copper penny that holds the most surprising story. And among these small yet mighty coins, the United States Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1971 has earned a special place in the hearts of numismatists and treasure hunters alike. The year 1971 may seem recent to some, but for coin collectors, it sits firmly in a golden era for American coinage. This was still a time when pennies were made primarily of copper, with their rich reddish hue catching the light in a way today's zinc coins cannot match. The obverse of this penny proudly displays the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner that had already been in use for more than 6 decades by 1971. It's a familiar sight to every American, yet one that continues to draw admiration for its timeless artistry. Turn the coin over, and you're greeted by the stately Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo. Look closely enough, and you'll even spot a tiny engraved statue of Lincoln himself inside the memorial, a detail that fascinates collectors and casual observers alike. In 1971, the U.S. Mint produced these pennies in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint left its mark, or in the case of Philadelphia, its lack of a mint mark, just below the date. Denver coins carried a small d while San Francisco produced proofs marked with an S. Though millions upon millions of these pennies rolled off the presses, not all were created equal. While most entered circulation and suffered the wear and tear of daily use, a small fraction emerged in exceptional condition or with rare minting errors, making them highly sought after today. For collectors, condition is everything. A 1971 penny with brilliant, blazing luster and no visible marks can be worth far more than one that's been rattling around in pockets for decades. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can command remarkable premiums. Then there are the rare errors. Imagine finding a 1971 penny struck off-center, or one with doubling on the date or lettering. These unusual mistakes escape the mint's quality control and become prized oddities, often worth far more than their face value. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are another collector's dream. These were struck with polished dies and specially prepared planchets, resulting in deep, mirror-like surfaces and frosted designs. High-grade proofs from 1971 are cherished by those who appreciate the finer details of coin artistry. Beyond condition and errors, the 1971 penny carries the weight of its time. The early 70s were a period of change in America. Social movements, political shifts, and cultural transformations all left their mark on the nation's history. Every coin from this year is a small relic of that era. Copper composition also plays a role in the coin's appeal. Each 1971 penny contains about 3 grams of mostly pure copper, giving it a tangible sense of value and durability that modern coins lack. Some collectors even value older pennies simply for their metal content. Over time, copper coins can develop beautiful toning, subtle shades of red, gold, and even blue or purple that add to their uniqueness. Naturally toned 1971 pennies with eye-catching colors can be worth significantly more to the right collector. Many people don't realize that finding an uncirculated 1971 penny in the wild today is nearly impossible. Decades of handling, storage in poor conditions, and circulation have taken their toll. That's why pristine examples are so rare and valuable. It's not just serious collectors who are drawn to these coins. Stories often circulate of people discovering a valuable penny in an old jar or a forgotten box, sparking excitement and a rush to check every coin in sight. Auction houses have seen bidding wars erupt over 1971 pennies in exceptional grades or with remarkable errors. The competition is fierce because such coins are truly one-of-a-kind. One of the thrills of coin collecting is the hunt itself. You never know when or where you might come across that perfect coin, whether it's tucked inside a family heirloom collection or hidden in plain sight in loose change. The Lincoln Cent series, with its long and unbroken history, has always been a favorite for both beginners and experts. Completing a set of every year in Mintmark is a challenge that can take years, and finding a standout 1971 penny can be a highlight of that journey. As time passes, fewer high-grade 1971 pennies remain. Mishandling, cleaning, or environmental damage claims more of them each year, making those in top condition even scarcer. For many collectors, the 1971 penny represents the tail end of a classic era for U.S. coinage, before dramatic changes in design and metal composition altered the look and feel of the nation's coins. The beauty of collecting is that every coin has a story. The 1971 penny's story is one of endurance, surviving decades while retaining its simple elegance and historical significance. Even a single glance at a high-quality 1971 penny reveals details that many overlook. The fine lines in Lincoln's hair, the sharp steps of the memorial, the perfect balance of the inscriptions. These coins have traveled through time, through countless hands and places, carrying silent witness to 50-plus years of history. Each one is a miniature time machine, offering a tangible link to the past. The fact that a coin so small and so common at birth can grow to be a collector's prize is part of what makes numismatics so fascinating. It's proof that value is about more than just size or metal content. It's about rarity, beauty, and significance. When the perfect combination of factors, condition, rarity, and demand aligns, the result can be astonishing. And the 1971 Lincoln Penny is a prime example of that magic in action. Collectors know that opportunities to acquire the finest examples of this coin are rare. When one appears, it often disappears quickly into a private collection, perhaps not to resurface for decades. Why the stories of record-breaking sales send shockwaves through the collecting world, inspiring others to look more closely at their own coins. The humble 1971 penny, unassuming in appearance, has proven time and again that it can command attention and admiration from those who recognize its worth, and for the lucky individual who holds one of the rarest, Most pristine examples. The reward can be nothing short of extraordinary, because a remarkable 1971 Lincoln 1-cent penny has been known to sell for $127,000. Top 3. In the world of coin collecting, there are stories that surprise even the most seasoned treasure hunters. One of these stories belongs to a small yet historically rich coin, the United States Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1975. At first glance, it might seem like just another copper penny, the kind you might pass over in your change without a second thought. But this coin has secrets, and for some rare examples, those secrets translate into extraordinary value. The obverse of the 1975 Lincoln penny continues the long tradition of honoring the 16th President of the United States. Abraham Lincoln's profile, designed by Victor David Brenner, is both iconic and enduring, having appeared on the cent since 1909. On the reverse, you'll find the dignified Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro. Many people don't realize that if you look closely, you can see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, an incredible detail for such a small coin. The U.S. Mint produced the 1975 penny in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, Denver coins feature a D under the date, and San Francisco coins from that year are proofs with an S mint mark. These pennies were struck from the same metal composition that had been standard for decades: 95% copper and 5% zinc. This gives them their rich, reddish-brown color and a satisfying weight that today's mostly zinc pennies simply can't replicate. While millions were made, rarity comes from survival in exceptional condition. Most 1975 pennies have been heavily circulated, bearing scratches, discoloration, and wear from decades of use. Pristine examples are a completely different story. Condition is key. A 1975 penny in uncirculated condition, with blazing luster and flawless surfaces, is a standout piece that immediately draws collector interest. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional services can bring in stunning prices. Then there are the minting errors, those happy accidents that collectors love. Off-center strikes, double dies, and other anomalies have been discovered among 1975 pennies, and these mistakes often increase a coin's value dramatically. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are another highlight of the year. These coins were struck with special care, producing sharp details and mirror-like fields that make them miniature works of art. A perfect proof with deep cameo contrast is a sight to behold. Beyond their beauty and rarity, 1975 pennies are also pieces of history. The mid-1970s were a time of political change, cultural shifts, and economic challenges. Holding a coin from this year is like holding a tiny time capsule from a different America. The copper content adds another layer of value. As the years pass, copper coins become more desirable, both for their composition and for the nostalgia they represent to collectors and the public alike. Some 1975 pennies have developed natural toning over time, showing shades of gold, red, purple, or blue. Attractive, original toning can set a coin apart from the rest and make it more desirable to collectors seeking something truly unique. Finding an uncirculated 1975 penny in circulation today is almost impossible. Most have been worn down by decades of handling, and the few that remain in pristine condition are locked away in collections. The thrill of discovering a rare penny is what keeps collectors searching. Stories of people finding valuable coins in old jars, drawers, or inherited collections are a constant source of excitement in the hobby. Auction houses have witnessed fierce bidding wars over the finest 1975 Lincoln cents. It's not just about owning the coin, it's about owning one of the best examples known to exist. The Lincoln Cent series, now the longest-running coin design in U.S. history, continues to be one of the most collected coins worldwide. Completing a set is a challenge, and high-grade examples of certain years, like 1975, can be the crown jewel in a collection. Every detail on a perfect 1975 penny is a testament to craftsmanship. The sharp lines in Lincoln's hair, the distinct steps of the memorial, and the flawless, gleaming surfaces. Over time, fewer coins remain in top condition. Mishandling, environmental exposure, and improper storage slowly reduce the number of pristine survivors. This shrinking supply makes each high-grade coin more valuable. Some of the most valuable 1975 pennies have unique backstories, coins pulled from mint sets shortly after production, carefully preserved in protective cases, and untouched for decades. The fascination with small coins commanding large prices is part of what makes numismatics so appealing. The idea that something so common at birth could become so rare is irresistible to collectors. The combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand creates a perfect storm for value. And when those elements align, the results can be astonishing. For many collectors, the hunt for the perfect 1975 penny is more than just a search, it's a passion. Each coin examined is another chance to find that one extraordinary piece. Even casual hobbyists are drawn in when they hear about the incredible prices certain coins have fetched. That curiosity often turns into a lifelong interest in the hobby. The Lincoln penny may be small, but it represents over a century of American history and artistry. The 1975 edition is a chapter in that story that collectors cherish deeply. Every so often, one of these coins appears at auction and turns heads across the numismatic world. The excitement is palpable, and the bidding can be intense, and for the lucky owner of one of the rarest, highest quality 1975 Lincoln 1-cent pennies, the reward can be life-changing, because such a coin has been known to sell for $120,000. Top 4. In the world of rare coins, the smallest pieces often hide the biggest surprises. The United States Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1977 is a perfect example of how a coin that millions once used without a second thought can, under the right circumstances, be worth an astonishing sum today. When most people think of valuable coins, they imagine gold and silver treasures locked away in vaults. But in the hands of a collector, even a humble copper penny from 1977 can become a star, thanks to its history, condition, and sometimes even minting mistakes. The obverse of the 1977 penny features the legendary image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait has been on the scent since 1909 and is one of the most recognized coin designs in the world. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. It's a detailed and symbolic representation of unity and national pride, complete with a tiny statue of Lincoln visible inside the memorial if you look closely enough. In 1977, the U.S. Mint produced pennies in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, Denver coins feature a small D, and San Francisco issued proofs with an S mint mark for collectors. These coins were still made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them a richness in color and durability that modern zinc pennies can't match. The solid weight and warm hue of these copper cents are part of what makes them so appealing to collectors. Although millions were struck, rarity is born from survival in pristine condition. Most 1977 pennies spent decades in pockets, jars, and cash registers, accumulating scratches, dings, and discoloration. Perfect examples are incredibly scarce. High-grade coins, those graded at the very top by professional grading services, are the ones that can command staggering prices. The flawless surfaces, deep luster, and sharp details make these coins numismatic gems. Mint errors also drive value. Some 1977 pennies have been discovered with doubled dies, off-center strikes, or other unusual flaws from the minting process. Such coins can transform a simple penny into a prize worth thousands. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are another highlight. They were struck with specially prepared dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like fields and sharp, frosted details that stand out in any collection. The 1970s were a time of economic and political change in the United States. A 1977 penny carries with it the memory of that era, from the cultural shifts of the post-Vietnam years to the evolving designs and production methods of the U.S. Mint. Collectors also appreciate the 1977 penny for its connection to the longer Lincoln cent series, the longest-running coin design in American history. Each year is a puzzle piece in a story that spans over a century. Natural toning adds another dimension of rarity and beauty. Over decades, copper coins can develop rich shades of red, gold, and even blue or purple, and collectors pay premiums for coins with attractive, original coloration. Finding an uncirculated 1977 penny in today's circulation is nearly impossible. Most that remain in top condition were pulled from rolls or sets shortly after minting and stored with great care. The thrill of coin collecting lies in the hunt. Stories circulate of valuable pennies being found in forgotten boxes, inherited collections, or tucked inside envelopes for safekeeping. Decades earlier, auction houses have seen fierce bidding for top-grade 1977 pennies, especially those with remarkable errors or deep, vibrant luster. The competition is often intense because opportunities to own such coins are rare. For many, the Lincoln cent is the starting point in their collecting journey. Its affordability at entry level and potential for high value in rare cases makes it a favorite among both beginners and advanced collectors. Close examination of a high-grade 1977 penny reveals details that ordinary circulation hides. The delicate lines in Lincoln's hair, the crisp lettering, and the precise steps of the memorial. Preservation is everything. Improper storage, cleaning, or exposure to moisture can destroy a coin's potential value. That's why the few survivors in pristine condition are so treasured. Some collectors focus on acquiring the finest known example of each year, making a top-grade 1977 penny a competitive target in the market. Copper Lincoln cents from the 1970s are becoming increasingly desirable as more collectors recognize the dwindling supply of well-preserved examples. The era's coins represent a style and substance that has changed in modern minting. Even casual hobbyists are intrigued when they learn that a penny from the year they were born might be worth far more than its face value under the right circumstances. The fact that a small coin used in everyday transactions could later be valued at thousands, or even more, is part of the enduring magic of numismatics. Every so often, a record-breaking sale captures the attention of the entire coin community, sparking renewed interest in checking old collections and coin jars. The 1977 Lincoln cent reminds us that beauty, rarity, and history can combine to make even the smallest coin a collector's dream. It also teaches us the importance of looking closely at what we have, because hidden treasures often pass through our hands unnoticed. From the minting presses of 1977 to the auction blocks of today, this coin has proven that its story is far from ordinary, and for the fortunate person who owns one of the rarest, most pristine examples of the 1977 Lincoln 1-cent penny, the reward has reached an incredible $114,000. Top 5. In the world of rare coins, some of the most remarkable treasures begin life as ordinary pocket change. The United States Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1978 is one such coin, a small piece of copper that, in rare cases, can be worth a fortune. At first glance, the 1978 penny looks like countless others from the era. Millions were produced, and for decades they passed from hand to hand, buying gumballs, paying for bus rides, and sitting in jars on kitchen counters. But the magic lies in the details. The obverse features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His dignified image has graced the cent since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin portraits in American history. Turn it over, and the reverse reveals the stately Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. Look closely enough, and you can spot a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a remarkable detail given the coin's small size. In 1978, the U.S. Mint struck these pennies in 3 locations. Philadelphia produced coins with no mint mark, Denver produced coins with a small D beneath the date, and San Francisco produced proof coins for collectors with an S mint mark. These coins were still made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them their warm reddish hue and satisfying weight. The copper composition also gives them a natural resistance to corrosion, which has helped some survive in excellent condition. Most 1978 pennies were heavily circulated, picking up scratches, dents, and discoloration over time. But a small number avoided the wear of everyday use and remain as bright and sharp as the day they left the mint. For collectors, condition is everything. A 1978 penny in mint state with blazing luster and perfect surfaces is a treasure, especially if it ranks among the highest grades certified by professional grading services. Mint errors add another layer of excitement. Some 1978 pennies feature doubled dies, off-center strikes, or other unusual minting mistakes, and these can significantly increase a coin's value. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are another highlight of the year. Struck with specially prepared dies and planchets, these coins have mirror-like fields and frosted designs that make them stand out in any collection. The year 1978 itself adds a sense of nostalgia. It was a time of cultural shifts, new technology, and political changes. Every coin from that year carries a silent connection to the people and events of its time. Copper coins also have a charm that modern zinc pennies simply cannot match. Their color, weight, and feel in the hand make them appealing to both new and seasoned collectors. Some 1978 pennies have developed beautiful natural toning, with shades of gold, red, purple, or even blue. Attractive toning can make a coin even more desirable to collectors who value uniqueness. Finding a pristine 1978 penny in circulation today is almost impossible. Most that remain in top condition were pulled from circulation decades ago and stored carefully. The thrill of the hunt is part of the coin collecting experience. Stories abound of people finding valuable pennies in old rolls, inherited collections, or forgotten jars tucked away in closets. When an exceptional 1978 penny appears at auction, it can draw fierce competition. Collectors understand how rare it is to find a flawless example, especially one with unique attributes. The Lincoln Cent series is one of the most popular and widely collected in the world. Completing a set requires finding high-quality examples from every year, and some years, like 1978, are harder to find in pristine condition than others. The artistry of a high-grade 1978 penny is striking. Every strand of Lincoln's hair, every letter, and every detail of the memorial steps appears crisp and sharp under magnification. Over time, the number of surviving high-grade 1978 pennies continues to shrink. Mishandling, environmental damage, and cleaning have taken their toll, making pristine survivors all the more valuable. Some of the most valuable examples come from coins preserved straight from original mint sets, untouched for decades and shielded from the elements. The combination of rarity, condition, and demand is what drives value. When those factors align, the results can be astonishing, turning a humble penny into a prized collectible. Even casual collectors are amazed when they learn that a penny from the late 1970s could be worth far more than its face value under the right conditions. For many, discovering the value of such a coin is the first step into the exciting world of numismatics, where history, art, and treasure hunting come together. Every so often, a record-setting sale sends ripples through the coin collecting community, inspiring people to recheck their old collections with a new appreciation. The 1978 Lincoln Cent is proof that age alone does not determine value. It's the rare combination of perfect preservation, rarity, and collector demand that transforms it into a true gem. From the day it was minted to the moment it finds its way into a collector's hands, each coin tells a story of survival and significance, and for the lucky owner of one of the rarest, most pristine 1978 Lincoln 1-cent pennies, that story comes with a reward that has reached an incredible $111,000. Top 6. In the fascinating world of coin collecting, some years stand out not just for their rarity, but for the unique changes they brought to American coinage. The United States Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1982 is one of those special years, a small coin with a surprisingly big story. At first glance, a 1982 penny might seem ordinary. After all, millions were produced that year. But for collectors and experts, 1982 was a turning point, a year of transition that created multiple varieties of the same coin, making it a treasure hunt in disguise. The obverse still carried the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. It's a design so timeless that even after decades of use, it remains one of the most recognizable portraits on any U.S. coin. The reverse showcased the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. Hidden within its columns, you can spot a tiny engraving of the seated Lincoln statue, an incredible detail for such a small space. What makes 1982 so fascinating is that the U.S. Mint changed the penny's metal composition mid-year. For over a century, pennies were mostly copper, but rising metal costs led to a switch to a primarily zinc core with a thin copper coating. This meant that in 1982, both copper and zinc pennies were produced, and collectors today must pay attention to the weight to know which is which. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while zinc ones weigh only 2.5 grams. Not only that, but there were also differences in the design details, specifically the size of the date's numerals. This created multiple varieties, small date and large date versions, each in copper and zinc. In total, there are 7 different varieties of the 1982 penny, and knowing which one you have can make a huge difference in its value. Some of these are much rarer than others, especially in top condition. Coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those from Denver have a small D beneath the date. Each mint produced both compositions and date sizes, adding to the variety and complexity of this year's pennies. Finding a flawless 1982 penny, whether copper or zinc, is extremely difficult today. Most have been heavily circulated, losing their original luster and picking up marks and scratches over the decades. High-grade examples, especially in rare varieties, are worth far more than their face value. In some cases, collectors will pay top dollar for a perfect, uncirculated specimen of a scarce variety. Mint errors make the 1982 penny even more interesting. Double dies, off-center strikes, and other minting mistakes from this year can turn an ordinary coin into a standout rarity. Proof coins were also struck at the San Francisco Mint with the S Mint mark. These were intended for collectors and have deeply mirrored surfaces and frosted designs that make them miniature works of art. The early 1980s were a period of economic change in the United States. Inflation, new policies, and shifting metal prices all played a role in the decision to change the penny's composition. Owning a 1982 penny is owning a piece of that history. For many collectors, the copper 1982 penny represents the end of an era. It was the last year that copper cents were produced for circulation in significant numbers, making them sentimental favorites. The zinc versions, while lighter and cheaper to produce, have not aged as well. Many have developed bubbles or spots due to their thin copper coating wearing away, which makes pristine examples even rarer. Collectors love the challenge of assembling a complete set of all 7 1982 varieties in top condition. It's not easy, but for those who manage it, it's a true accomplishment in the hobby. Some 1982 pennies have developed attractive toning over the years, shades of red, orange, gold, or even blue. Natural toning can enhance a coin's beauty and value, especially when it appears evenly and vibrantly. Finding an uncirculated 1982 penny in a forgotten jar or old roll is an exciting experience. These discoveries are less common every year as more coins are damaged, lost, or melted. Auction houses have seen impressive bidding wars over certain 1982 varieties in the highest grades. The combination of historical significance and rarity makes them irresistible to serious collectors. It's not just seasoned numismatists who are drawn to this coin. Beginners are often fascinated to learn that such a recent penny could be worth far more than 1 cent, and that curiosity often sparks a lifelong collecting habit. The artistry of a high-grade 1982 penny is remarkable. Every line in Lincoln's hair, every column of the memorial, and every letter stands out with sharp clarity on a well-preserved example. Each surviving 1982 penny has traveled through decades of change in America, making it more than just a coin. It's a witness to history, whether copper or zinc, large date or small date. Each variety tells a part of the 1982 story, and together they form one of the most interesting chapters in the Lincoln Cent series. The survival of pristine examples grows rarer each year, and with it, the value of the finest coins continues to climb. Some of the most prized 1982 pennies come from coins that were carefully set aside at the time of issue, stored safely away from the wear and tear of everyday life. The allure of turning a single cent into a small fortune is part of what keeps collectors searching, and the 1982 penny delivers that dream for a lucky few, and for the fortunate person who owns one of the rarest, highest quality 1982 Lincoln 1-cent pennies. The reward can be nothing short of astonishing, because such a coin has been known to sell for $94,000. Top 7. In the world of coin collecting, few things can stir the imagination quite like stumbling upon an ordinary-looking coin that turns out to be worth a small fortune. Among the countless coins that pass through our hands every day, there are some rare gems whose stories are just as fascinating as their value. One such treasure is the United States Washington State's $quarter-dollar Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1990, a coin that has captured the attention of both novice collectors and seasoned numismatists alike. When you think of a 1990 penny or quarter, You might imagine something common and insignificant, something you could find in your pocket change. Yet this particular piece is far from ordinary. It holds a unique place in the realm of rare coins, owing to its unusual production history, its remarkable condition in certain surviving examples, and its connection to a fascinating era in U.S. mint history. The late 1980s and early 1990s marked a time of subtle but important changes in U.S. coinage. The mint was improving technology, adjusting production techniques, and experimenting with dyes. This was a period when small minting errors, unexpected metal planchet variations, and limited production runs could result in coins that today are highly sought after. The 1990 example in question is a perfect case of such a phenomenon. At first glance, it might seem like just another coin with Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on one side and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the other, or the Washington quarter with its eagle reverse. But for collectors, the real excitement lies in the fine details, the sharpness of the strike, the clarity of the date, the possible mint mark variety, and the preservation of the surfaces. These subtle traits make all the difference between pocket change and a numismatic treasure. One reason coins like this gain extraordinary value is rarity. Not every 1990 penny or quarter is worth a fortune. In fact, most are worth face value. But certain ones, those in pristine condition or with an unusual error, can leap in value dramatically. This rarity comes from low survival rates in mint state condition and the fact that most coins from that year entered circulation almost immediately. Collectors are also fascinated by the coin's place in history. The year 1990 was a turning point in U.S. coinage technology, as the mint began modernizing certain production facilities. This shift created slight differences in coin details that keen-eyed experts have studied for decades. Owning such a coin is like holding a piece of American industrial and monetary history. Another driving factor behind its value is condition grading. Professional coin graders use precise scales to assess a coin's quality. A flawless example from 1990 with perfect luster and no handling marks can achieve the highest grades, propelling its market price into the stratosphere. For the coin we're discussing, those top-tier grades have been the key to its legendary status. Some collectors speculate that a few of these coins were struck on slightly different planchets or with early die states, making them visually sharper and more detailed than standard issues. Others point to minting errors such as off-center strikes or double dies as possible contributors to their desirability. Especially thrilling is that these coins could still be out there in the wild. It's not impossible for one to turn up in a jar of old change, a forgotten drawer, or an inherited collection. This possibility fuels the dreams of collectors everywhere, and keeps treasure hunters combing through their coins in hopes of finding a jackpot piece. Auction records have shown time and again that when one of these rare 1990 examples appears on the market in immaculate condition, bidding wars break out. Enthusiasts are willing to pay enormous sums not just for the coin's rarity, but also for the bragging rights of owning such a celebrated piece. In recent years, coin collecting forums and communities have shared countless stories of lucky finds. Some involve lifelong collectors who knew exactly what they had, others are about people who casually submitted a coin for grading, only to discover they had struck gold in copper or nickel form. What makes this coin even more appealing is its accessibility in story if not in price. Almost everyone has handled a 1990 penny or quarter, making the idea that one of them could be a fortune in disguise both exciting and relatable. It bridges the gap between everyday life and high-stakes collectibles. For new collectors, learning about the 1990 rarity can be a gateway into the hobby. It teaches them about mint marks, die varieties, grading, and the importance of preservation. For veterans, it remains a prized target, a piece that represents both luck and expertise in the hunt for rare currency. In the grand narrative of U.S. coinage, the 1990 Lincoln Penny and Washington Quarter hybrid references stand as a reminder that history, rarity, and condition can turn small bits of metal into national treasures. They show that value isn't always about age, it's about uniqueness, survival, and the stories coins carry. This particular coin's fame has only grown over time, with collectors worldwide keeping an eye out for it. As the years pass, the number of pristine examples dwindles, making those still in top condition even more valuable. Fascinating to imagine the journey of such a coin, from the moment it left the mint's presses, to the hands it passed through, to the day it was finally recognized as a rarity. Each nick avoided, each fingerprint spared, helped preserve its status as a high-grade specimen. Numismatics is as much about passion as it is about profit. Coins like the 1990 rarity ignite both, inspiring collectors to research, to search, and to treasure the smallest details. Even if you never find one yourself, simply knowing these stories can make you look at your change differently. Every coin has a history. Some just have the fortune to be worth a fortune, and for the few who hold this exceptional 1990 piece in near-perfect condition, they are in possession of more than just money. They hold a tangible fragment of American heritage, a testament to craftsmanship and chance. So the next time you handle a penny or quarter, think about its year, its mint mark, and its details. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. This is why the United States Washington State's $quarter Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1990 is more than just currency. It's a story, a symbol, and a treasure all in one. As incredible as it sounds, a flawless example of this coin has fetched a staggering $70,000.